قال شيخ رباني محمد السنوسي ولعلها لاختصارها مع اشتمالها على ما ذكرناه جعلها الشرع ترجمة على ما في قلبي من الإسلام ولم يقبل من أحد الإيمان إلا بها فعلى العاقل أن يكثر من ذكرها مستحضرا لما احتوت عليه من عقائد الإيمان حتى تمتزج مع معناها بلحمه ودمه فإنه يرى لها من الأسرار والعجائب إن شاء الله تعالى ما لا يدخل تحت حصرين. انتهى متن البراهين. This is from one great Sheikh. His name is Sheikh Rabbani Muhammad Sanusi, one of the great writer, great scholar, well known to anybody that study knowledge, student of knowledge. If you ask them, Sheikh Rabbani Muhammad Sanusi, surely they will know it. Yeah. One of the aspect that the Sheikhs always highlight is about the reality of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Yeah. So what he said, Ala Sheikh Rabbani Muhammad Sanusi, say the Sheikh Rabbani Muhammad Sanusi, Sheikh Rabbani, teacher that have a sense of Rabbani, a sense of godly, a very godly scholar. Yeah. Some scholar, there is a scholar, but you can't really see the appearance of that aspect, that present element. Yeah, more intellectual. You know, someone can learn knowledge, they become very intellectual, but their lack of, they're lacking of that reality, what they come to know about. Very intellectual. You can become like that. Yeah. So, but he not among them. Rabbani is indicate that not just that aspect of intellectual affirmation or achievement, but it's also Rabbani aspect, that combination between the seen and the unseen. Okay, so he embodied that, in other words. So if you see him, or you meet him, or if you see he start to give any explanation, you begin to see that present element. So any explanation that you come to hear from him, you begin to have a sense of impact, godly impact. So the impact of being present, the impact of that you feel heartfelt. Okay, so that aspect of the great aspect of human development is being present, because the quality of your life is how present you are. Yeah, if you're not present, no quality life. So Rabbani, not just being present in the sense that synchronized, coherent with that tradition of transmission back to the Prophet himself, back to Angel Jibreel, back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those elements of preservation of that tradition of prophethood, present in that manner. So when we talk about present heart, we're talking about uphold that tradition of transmission. Okay, the ability to combine between your thinking, your feeling, and your acting together. So being in the world, looking at that manifest phenomenon, but you are not callous the source of that manifestation. So the ability to lead your life and hold that reality without any distraction. That's Rabbani. So he arrived at, he achieved that. So this is his work. قال الشيخ رباني محمد سانوسي yeah. ولعلها لاختصارها مع اشتمالها على ما ذكرناه yeah. What did he say? He said that ولعلها لاختصارها مع اشتمالها على ما ذكرناه. Now this aspect that what you learn, the 68 point, been capsulized, that been captured in a simple expression, which is that La ilaha illallah. Okay, that La ilaha illallah, it encompasses all the meaning that pointing to that absolute reality. Okay, so he said وَلَعَلَّهَا لِاخْتِصَارِهَا مَعَ اشْتِمَالِهَا عَلَى مَا ذَكَرْنَاهُ. So, since what we have expressed is simple and encompasses everything, and make it ikhtisar, make it simplifies, yeah, مَعَ اشْتِمَالِهَا, and with that completion of expression or explanation, على ما ذكرنا, for what we have explained, for what we have articulate or express, جعلها الشرع ترجمة, and Sharia, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself has made that tarjumatan ala ma fi qalbi min al-Islam. So that God Almighty has made that the articulation of that La ilaha illallah is indication of Islam. Okay, tarjamatan ala ma fi qalbi min al-Islam. So whatever that you have in your heart, that you tasdiq in your heart, whatever that you affirm in your heart, you articulate it out, synchronized, coherent, nothing other. So there is a sense of matching between what you say outwardly and what you affirm inside. Okay, so what you say outside and what you affirm inside, what you believe or you accept inside, it match. Okay, that's iman, because the word iman, it carry three meaning: iqrarun bil lisan, tasdiqun bil qalbi, affirm in your heart; iqrarun bil lisan, articulate with your tongue; amalun bil arkan, and practice it, okay, manifest it with your limbs. So three elements: your heart, your tongue, your limbs. 7 limbs. So if someone doesn't have tasdiqun bil qalbi, but there is iqrarun bil lisan, that's called munafiq. He become munafiq. Okay, and if someone have tasdiqun bil qalbi, okay, rule tasdiq, okay, and rule iqrar, become kafir. If you rule out affirmation in your heart and rule out articulation, not even articulate the reality of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, kafir. Yeah, if you affirm tasdiq, okay, and you reject outside, okay, you reject, you don't affirm inside, no affirmation, but you articulate with your tongue, but inside there's no reality, that's called nifaq, become munafiq. Okay, if you affirm inside and articulate outside, but don't have the arkan, don't have the aspect, the third aspect, which is those practice with your limbs, then you become fasiq. Yeah, so affirming the three aspects, mu'min. So you have tasdiqun bil qalbi, you have that, affirm in your heart; iqrarun bil lisan, you articulate exactly what's in your heart. Transparency. So the idea that, whatever that you articulate, whatever that you believe, that's what it is. Okay, and then you practice with your limbs. Okay, the three aspects is there been established, that's called mu'min. Yeah, so he said, ala ma zakarna ja'ala shar'u, okay, sharia, okay, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has make it expression of what in the heart, okay, to indicate, Islam, a person is Muslim. That's why someone that become Muslim, you ask him or her to declare that. Yeah, because okay, you accept. Okay, I accept one God, the last prophet. Okay, you accept from your heart. Okay, now declare. Okay, so that declaration, okay, then you're Muslim. But if you don't declare, then who knows? Yes? Oh no, I just believe Allah know me. Yes, Allah know you. But no one knows. Because life is not just about the unseen. It's about the seen too. So once you declare now, okay, you are bound to that. Okay, if you die, we know to bury you as a Muslim. We wash you, okay, we pray, we wrap, pray, and bury as a Muslim. But if he doesn't declare, he doesn't know, then who's going to deal with it? Well, Allah is going to come down and save you? No. Allah come down and save you with His people, with His servant that know Allah. Okay, so you have to declare it. Yeah. So that declaration, yeah. So that is, Sharia, the Deen, the religion, the Sharia. Okay, the ruling of Sharia. Tarjumatan ala ma fi qalbi min al-Islam. Okay. So that becomes something that very clear that in our Sharia, in our methodology, in our teaching, in our tradition, so that declaration of our declaration is indication of what you affirm inside. Okay, tarjumatan ala ma fi qalbi min al-Islam. Yeah. So tarjumatan ala ma fi qalbi min al-Islam. Walam yuqbal min ahadil imanu illa biha. Okay, there's no acceptance of faith or creed without it. Okay, if you don't affirm this reality in your heart, what creed? What do you affirm? What do you believe? No, I believe in Allah. So what is it Allah all about? You don't even know. You might fall into Mu'tazila. Okay, the people are Mu'tazila. They also say Allah. Jabariyah say Allah too. Qadariyah say Allah as well. But how? If you don't learn. Yes? That's why he make it clear. وَلَمْ يُقْبَلْ مِنْ أَهْدِ الْإِيمَانِ. Okay, there's no acceptance. Okay, يُقْبَل, مقبول. There's no acceptance of Iman, of faith, of creed. Okay, your presentation of creed, I say, I believe, that belief will not be accepted إِلَّا بِهَا, accept with that. وَلَمْ يُقْبَلْ مِنْ أَهْدِ الْإِيمَانُ إِلَّا بِهَا. Okay, with that i'tiqad that you have to learn. You have to understand what are you affirming, what are you believing in. Oh, you believe He exists, wujud. Okay, He exists, wujud with what? Qidam, baqa, mukhalafatuhu lil hawadith, qiyamuhu ta'ala binafsi, wahdaniyah. So these 5 qualities, the 5 attributes that demonstrate the reality of wujud, the reality of existence. When you say, okay, I believe that in the existence of God, but then if you've been asked, okay, what do you mean you believe in the existence of God? Describe it to me. I believe He exists. Okay? And not just say exists, He exists with qidam. Okay? Baqa, qidam means no beginning. Baqa, no ending, no perishing. Yeah? Mukhalafatuhu ta'ala lil hawadith. There's no similarity. Qiyamuhu bin nafsi, completely independent. Wahdaniyah, one. So this 5 quality is a quality, is an attribute that demonstrate the attribute that does not defeat the existence of God. These 5 attributes demonstrate the attribute that does not defeat the existence of God. Got it? Or are you confused now? Qidam, baqa, mukhalafatuhu lil hawadith, qiyamuhu binafsih, wahdaniyah. Qidam, baqa, mukhalafa, qiyamuhu binafsih, wahdaniyah. These 5 attributes, okay, is an attribute that rule out. These 5 attributes does it explain a attribute that does not defeat it. Does not suit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not that qidam, looking at the aspect opposite of qidam. When you affirm Allah is qidam, no beginning, which means Allah, meaning qidam means that he does not have beginning. So, in a way, it's denying attribute that does not befitting him. The moment you affirm qidam. Okay? And then baqa, aspect of no perishing. Yes? In the baqa, if you look at the literal meaning, it means that, baqa means everlasting. That's what it meant. But when you affirm baqa, what it meant is that you are affirming the opposite of that attribute. That's why it calls sifat salbiyah. Salbiyah means that attribute that which is attribute that does not exist at all towards God. Okay, looking at the opposite of that qidam, opposite of that baqa, opposite of that mukhalafah. Yeah, which means when you say his qidam, he's not huduth, meaning you're denying he is not, having beginning towards God does not exist. Alamiyah. Salbiyah mean, it been released. It been, he does not have that quality. Looking at huduth, when you affirm, his wujud is with qidam, which means he's not huduth. Huduth mean beginning, like us. We are huduth. We exist. We also have, we say, this alam, wujud, you wujud too, I'm wujud. Wujud mean existence. God exists too. But the existence of God, when you affirm, is qidam. Qidam, denying huduth. When you say he exists with baqa, baqa means everlasting, meaning denying fana. He's not fana. Fana means perish. Okay? And then when you affirm he mukhalafatuhu lil hawadith, meaning nothing similar. Opposite of that, mumathalatuhu lil hawadith, there is similarity. Okay? And then when you affirm qiyamuhu bi nafsih, he's totally independent. Opposite of that, qiyamuhu bi ghairi, he depends upon something. Opposite of that. Okay? And his wahdaniyah is one. Opposite of that, ta'addudun, more than one. That more than one what been denied. So, because sifat salbiyah there are 5. Sifat nafsiyah is 1. Nafsiyah means attribute that pointing to the essence. Yeah? Attribute that pointing to the being. That's wujud. Salbiyah is a attribute that does not exist at all. Looking at the opposite of that attribute. So when you affirm qidam, baqa, mukhalafatuhu lil hawadith, qiyamuhu ta'ala bi nafsih, wahdaniyah, you are affirming that looking at the opposite of that doesn't exist at all. Salbiyah. Okay? That's why wujud is at the level of thubutiyah. Thubutiyah is affirmative exist. Okay? Firmly exist. Wujud. Yeah? Salbiyah is a attribute that does not exist at all. Adamiyah. Salbiyah, okay, is attribute that is adamiyah, doesn't exist at all. Looking at the opposite. Yeah? And then you have sifat ma'ani, which is 7. Qudrah, iradah, ilmu, hayat, sama', basar, kalam. Sifat ma'ani is at the under categories of wujudi. Okay? And then sifat ma'nawiyah is haliyah. Wujudiyah and haliyah. So you have all the 20 attributes, wujud, qidam, baqa, mukhalafatu ta'ala al-hawadith, and then qiyamu ta'ala binafsi wahdaniyah, the 5 is salbiyah, and then sifat ma'ani, there's 7, qudrah, irada, ilmu, hayat, sama', basar, kalam, and then sifat ma'anawiyah, there's 7, kaunuhu qadiran, muridan, aliman, hayyan, sami'an, basiran, mutakalliman. Okay, that's sifat ma'anawiyah. Yeah, sifat. So all the 20 attributes, it been categorized into 4. Okay, which is that sifat thubutiyah, adamiyah, and then wujudiyah and haliyah. Okay, thubutiyah, adamiyah, and then wujudiyah and haliyah. Okay, so this idea that thubutiyah is to explain that sifat wujud is something that at the level of certainly something that affirm, that existence is at the level of affirmative. Okay, and then adamiyah looking at doesn't exist at all. Okay, and then wujudiyah, so thubutiyah, thubutiyah is looking at something that exists, but not to the point that you can see it, like the existence of essence. Look at the table. When I say look at the table, if I ask you to pinpoint to me where is exactly the table, if you say here, no, that is the cloth, that is the table. So when you say look at the table, you're pointing to the essence. Okay, essence is something phenomenal even in creation, because something exists not to the point that you can see it. Okay, so wujud fi zihni laysa fil kharij. So the existence is at that level of you can express an abstract, not to the point you can see, but they exist. But because you can't see it, you can't deny it. Okay, but not to the point the existence of essence, or that to the point you can see it. Okay, so it's called thubutiyah. Thabit, no doubt, exists. Okay, look at the universe. Where to pinpoint? Where? Okay, and the kid is very interesting. If you look at their world, they are at some point in their life journey, they're very specific. Okay, and if you talk to them, sometimes they want to pinpoint where is it, because they can't understand yet at the abstract. They can't understand, they can't comprehend, because they're very literal. Where they want to see it, Yeah. Sometimes you take the kids to travel, you go places. Okay, they're like, come on, let's go to Spain. Oh, so happy when they get to Spain. They say, where is Spain? They want to show where exactly. How are you going to do it? you have to think twice. Oh my God. That's a matter of essence, isn't it? So essence, something exists, definite exists. Now definite exists in expression of Arabic, they call thubutiyah. No doubt, it exists, firm. Yeah, definite. The existence is such a level so strong, they call thubutiyah. Thubut. Okay, so the scholar they categorize all the attributes into 4. This thubutiyah. Wujud, thubutiyah. Salbiyah, adamiyah. Ma'ani, wujudiyah. Ma'nawiyah, haliyah. Hal, like ma'ani, like for instance, we have sifat ma'ani, like you have ears, okay, but you can hear, isn't it? But you hear through the ears, isn't it? That hearing element, where is it? Yes? So that's hal. Yeah? That's hal, isn't it? So You can only see the ears. Okay, but the function of the ears, that's ma'ani. The ability to hear, the ability to see. Okay? Sifat ma'ani, that's ma'ani. So ma'ani is the level of haliyah. So you can see the ears, but you can't see the function of the ears, the hearing element. That's haliyah. Okay? But we can see in creation, you can see the ears. Yeah? So we have the attribute of hearing is connected to ears. We have ears. But God Almighty hear, but not through the ears. He doesn't have the ears. This is creation. Okay? But you have that haliyah, the ma'ani. Okay? So you try to imagine or you try to understand, you can't, because there's nothing to refer to understand. Because anything that you try to understand, we always need reference to understand. But try to understand something that there's no reference, you never discovered before as physical, because it's not physical. That's why learning, knowing the attributes of God is not knowing the reality, how you know things. Knowing the attributes of God, knowing that the quality of God is to know that that quality exists, to affirm. Not to us to know the reality of that quality, that attribute. How you know the reality attribute of creation, you cannot know. That's why the not knowing the reality of God is knowing God. Because you are not asked to know the reality of God. You are asked to know what God is, what to affirm. Okay, this is wajib for him. It's enough. So that you doesn't fall into error of wrong understanding. Like you say, God exists, His qidam. It's not huduth. Someone come and say, oh, God exists, but His huduth. Right? No. It's not huduth, it's qidam. No beginning. Enough. You're safe. Now your belief is safe. But if you don't study, if you don't understand all these 20, you might affirm something contradict to your own belief, you don't even know it. Make sense to you? Yes? Make sense to you? Any question you have so far? Any question? Huh? Okay? So, ذكرناه جعل الشرع. Okay? You said that قال الشيخ رباني محمد السنوسي ولعلها لاختصارها. الاختصار, the idea of that simplifies it. Okay, concise, yeah. مع اشتمالها, and with completion, encompasses everything. على ما ذكرناه, for what we have mentioned, what we have discussed. Okay, with the 68 point. جعل الشرع ترجمة على ما في قلبي من الإسلام, and Sharia has made incumbent, okay, على ما في قلبي من الإسلام, okay, something that you have to declare outwardly what you affirm in your heart. ولم يقبل من أحد الإيمان, okay, there's no acceptance of faith or creed, okay, إلا بها, accept with it, accept with that declaration that you affirm in that your heart, which is connect 68, and you declare it out. Okay? فَعَلَى الْعَاقِلِ, all people, all the one that have sound mind, all the one that genius, the one that intelligent one. Okay? فَعَلَى الْعَاقِلِ أَنْ يُكْثِرَ مِنْ ذِكْرِهَا, make mention, okay, as much as possible that La ilaha illallah. Okay, constantly make that is part of your expression day to day. فَعَلَى الْعَاقِلِ, all the one that have intelligent, the one that genius, the one that have intellect. Okay, make use of expression of that La ilaha illallah constantly, as much as possible. Okay, and يُكْثِرَ مِنْ ذِكْرِهَا. Yukthir mean plenty. Not yuklil. Yuklil mean little. Qalil. Yukthir, make mention. There's no limit, in other words. Okay, so if you see someone, oh, this person too much zikr, yes, it's right. Too much zikr, yes, he's following commandment of Allah. What are you following? Who is talking there? Your nafs. Yes, because if you see someone making dhikr a lot, yes, he's following command of Allah. Meaning that person has sound mind. Yes? فَعَلَى الْعَاقِلِ أَنْ يُكْثِرَ مِنْ ذِكْرِهَا. Okay? So therefore, because of this, this La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah is concise and encompasses all you need in your creed, to save your creed, to affirm your creed, to make strong your belief, your creed, okay, your acceptance, which means that's connect to that innermost part of your development, innermost part of your progress is connect to accept, believe, and surrender, which means connect to affirmation, what you affirm. Okay, and everyone want to have the best of your version rise up. Okay, so how to bring up the best version of you? How? Now God sent the messenger. These are the secret. This the secret code to unlock the best of you can come up. Okay, because if you look one by one, all those attributes, if I start to go one by one, okay, all the 50 and the 18, you begin to see all those meaning is pointing towards that great gift. This 50, the conclusion is constant giving good, absolute good. You will come to that conclusion. Because when you discuss about the 50 and the 18, you are discussing about existence. The strongest pull and attraction of your mind is about existence. And existence is only two. Existence of creation and existence of creator. Existence of in time space, beyond time space. You are at your best when you forget time, when you forget place or space. The mind go into this mode of relaxed mode, release, unlock. But how to take yourself towards that dimension, towards that reality? So the explanation of 15 and 18 will take you there. And then if you start to mention of that La ilaha illallah, not just mention La ilaha illallah, with mustahdiran, that's what it said after that. فَعَلَى الْعَاقِلِ. Oh, the one that genius. Okay? فَعَلَى الْعَاقِلِ. The one that's genius, the one that have sound mind. أَن يُكْثِرَ مِنْ ذِكْرِهَا. Make mention of that dhikr. Yeah? As much as you can. Don't stop. Not just mention, dhikriha mustahdiran. While you're mentioning it, you have to have a sense of understanding mustahdiran. Mustahdir means to have present, what is it about this La ilaha illallah that you are mentioning, that you are articulating, that you are expressing. What is it? Mustahdir is 50 and 18. But if you doesn't know, then your mind cannot make connection. Once your mind can make connection, you get bored. That's why after making dhikr, after 10-15 minutes, you're off. Because you are not training your mind to connect with this deep meaning. That's the first step. When you learn, you have to have time, morning time, sit down, say slowly La ilaha illallah, and present all this 68, so that you see the meaning. Yes? So now once you have that, and the meaning, it have conclusion, it draw that you know, that the ending conclusion. What is it? Is 68. Okay? So when you draw conclusion, ending giving, conscious receiving, then you get that elevated emotion. Yes? That's why that's why in this aspect of affirmation, okay, you're provoking elevated emotion not through senses. but through literally accept, believe, surrender without analyze. That true, that reality, and that absolute acceptance to the point heartfelt. So there's no material that you are looking or you are, connecting, not through senses then, isn't it? So this 68 is beyond senses. So once you come out the secondary circle, which creation to creation, this through senses. Okay? But if you in your lifetime you can't even acknowledge, you can't even understand, experience beyond senses, then you become materialist. Materialists only understand, experience through senses. Okay? And most of us are very sharp, so sensitive, experiencing through senses. And not just that, when our senses experience something, then you can't connect. Yeah? You can't connect with the source. Yeah? You can't take it back to that reality. Once you can't take it back to that reality, okay, now you become hijab, no inkishaf. So your muamalah, you're dealing with day-to-day engagement, more you are going through your life journey, more you're building up hijab, you're building up veil towards that reality. Okay? So then the question is, your reality is physical reality. That's it. Your reality, your experiential is all about sensuality. But if this is your dominant reference, this is your dominant affirmation, you will progress. In facing challenges of life, good, bad, sweet, bitter, difficult, easy, praise, blame, the best version of you rise up because you connect to that beyond time spirit, that existence that you have accept in your creed for real, not just accept in your mind intellectually. That's become your dominant drive force. Okay? Your drive force is from there, stand from there. That's why Iqra, the first command, is Iqra, read. What read? Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read by the name, the one that created. This qira'atu bath wal iman. This is the first read, is to read about aqidah. Read about knowing the existence that created everything. In other words, read the reality of that existence, not in time, not in space. Iqra bismi Rabb alladhi khalaq. Read by the name of Allah, the one that khalaq, the one that created everything. Khalaqa kullu shay'in, kullu shay', the one that created everything. Read. Yeah? Because you're constantly reading, but that reading does not disengage you from the source. But most of us, when we start to read, when we start to contemplate, we divorce ourselves from the source. We cut off from the source. More we read, more we are far from reality. From that, the reality of absolute reality, not superficial reality. Not this reality, this 3D reality. It should really function at the level of affirming that absolute reality. But if you're not functioning, if your mind, your thinking, your feeling is not functioning, when you go through life, it doesn't activate that. Right now you're listening to me, I'm talking to you. If I'm talking to you, more I talk, I can't go in, then it's not function. More you're listening, you start to turn on your analytical mind. Okay, more you analyze, that 5% conscious, you cut off from that subconscious because you can't anchor. You're not trained to anchor. If you're trained, alhamdulillah, okay, that's why you need time to sit down, to contemplate, to reflect, to the point start to have anchored. Okay, not something that you read, understand, okay, and just that. Read, understand, memorize. Memorize the idea, take it in. What you read, what you understand. Take it in, not just take it in, not just take it in, the idea, accept, believe, surrender towards it. Heartfelt. Okay? Like you accept anything. If you accept anything to that heart level, you feel it. You become angry with someone said to you, you are such a so and so, you take it in. What happens when you take it in? Oh, you freak out then, isn't it? Yes or no? When you take it anything in, ooh, isn't it? But this knowledge, it does not go in. Okay? When it doesn't go in, then you can't, there's no heartfelt. So the purpose of this knowledge, not just to understand, okay, at the beginning you try to have an understanding, a good start, but after that, you have to start to bring it in, that meditative mode. Okay, so that when you're being present, or when you start to being present, okay, it does not come out from that reality of the 50 and the 18, so that you're anchored. Yeah. Any question? That's why فَعَلَى الْعَاقِلِ أَنْ يُكْثِرَ مِنْ ذِكْرِهَا. Or the one that have sound mind, intelligent one, genius one, and yukthira, make mention a lot. And that's why when you come to the study circle, we make dhikr. Okay, we are following the command, Iqra, Bismi, read, recite, read the name of Allah. And the greatest name expression that you can express is La ilaha illallah. None other greater than that. That's why the greatest joy, the greatest announcement, joyful announcement is La ilaha illallah. But if you don't understand, you get bored. Because when you start to say La ilaha illallah, La ilaha, but you can't make connection with the universe. What happened to you now? You can't connect. After you can't connect, after I make zikr about 10 minutes, you're off now. I just by myself making dhikr, now everyone just voice only. You said when can you stop, when can you stop, it's going to be long now. Yes? Or you drift off somewhere. You make calculation to go here, to go there. Yes? Or you find it difficult to anchor because more you start to say La ilaha illallah, more up running in your mind, this and that, you can't engage, you can't settle. You can't really say and express this reality of La ilaha illallah, yeah, with that meaning. Okay, with that meaning of what you have learned. Okay, that's why he said فَعَلَى الْعَقِلِ أَنْ يُكْثِرَ مِنْ ذِكْرِهَا مُسْتَحْضِرًا, with present heart. لِمَا احْتَوَتْ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ عَقَائِدِ الْإِيمَانِ, not just present for what we have explained. Min aqaidil iman, the 68. Not just that, hatta tamtazija, to the point it blend, hatta tamtazija ma'a ma'naha bilahmihi wa damihi, with your flesh and blood. The meaning of La ilaha illallah, the reality of that, pointing that oneness and unity, flesh and blood. Oh, yeah. That level. Hatta tamtazija. So hatta is indicate there is a dose that you have to take in. Not just enough say La ilaha, okay, contemplate already. No. Hatta tamtazija. To the point that it blend those meaning. Or if any meaning blend in, you stay 60 years, 70 years, you are experiencing life. Who's giving you life? Or you can say Allah, but can you really feel a flesh and blood to the point you can give your life? To the point you do anything, you cannot move unless by Him. And you will not step out from the 5 elements, all the rules, regulation, terms and condition, law and order that He have set up. Anything that you want to do, there is calculation with the Sharia. Anything that you want to affirm, there is calculation with the Tariqah. And anything that you want to witness, there is calculation about the Haqiqah. When you combine the Sharia, Tariqah and Haqiqah, that's what you get. Ma'rifah, the knower. The one that really know one reality. The one that preserve the tradition of prophethood. In going through challenges of life, good, bad, sweet, bitter, difficult, easy, never budge. Profound, grounded. Okay? So your outward limb governs with the Sharia, Islam. Your inward dimension affirm with the reality of Iman. Okay, the inward of the inward, experiencing the inward reality of Ihsan, Tasawwuf. So your thinking, feeling, acting has been molded, shaped, cultivated, and direct to that right direction. Firmly to the point, no situation, no circumstances, no person, no thought, no feeling, no suggestion, nothing can take you out from that dimension. You're rock, you're solid rock. And you become the representative. You present that reality. Anywhere you go, you talk accordingly, not make up story. This is why this knowledge is so crucial. Yeah? That's why it said that أن يكثر من ذكرها مستحضرا لمحتوى عليه من عقائد الإيمان حتى تمتزج مع معناه بلحمه ودمه فإنه يرى لها. And if you do that, فإنه يرى لها من الأسرار والعجائب. And if you affirm that, you begin to see a meaning that you never see before. In other words, there's a promise that you're going to see things that really open up, inspire you in the way that you least expect. A meaning that you begin to see. The reality that open up to you that really entertain your life. There's no bored. حتى تمتزج مع معنى بلحمه ودمه فإنه يرى لها. Surely, indeed, no doubt, يرى لها, you will see reality. فإنه يرى لها من الأسرار والعجائب. Something ajaib, something that amazes, something that, mashallah. Life is entertained. Life, you get the real entertainment of Quran, of Ma'ani. Yeah? من العجائب إن شاء الله تعالى ما لا يدخل تحت حصرين, to the point that you can't count the immense of that opening, that Allah will open that greater dimension, that vastness of reality. Otherwise you're trapped here. If you're trapped here in facing challenges of life, you become stressed. That's where you renewal energy. So self-regulate begin to start to activate it towards the best version of you. Because you connect to the source, renewal energy, self-regulate towards the best version. You disconnect to the source, you engage to the means, this realm here, you become depleting energy, self-regulate towards the worst of you. You easily become negative than positive. You know a lot about positive, but you be less about positive thing. You're more negative. Okay? So any question you have from there? Any question you have? what been said just now. If you have anything that need to be clarified, you can ask. Are we online?
Yes, Sheikh.
Any question, people from outside?
Not yet, Sheikh.
Come on. Bismillah. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Any question?
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I ask about the 20 attributes
Yeah.
are categorized into 4? Is
Yeah.
that you mean all the 50 attributes of Allah are
Yeah.
categorized into 4?
Into 4. So you have nafsiyah, salbiyah, ma'ani, ma'nawiyah. Okay. Nafsiyah is essence aspect. Okay. Salbiyah, explaining about that essence, that aspect that does not exist at all. Adamiyah. Okay. Nafsiyah is aspect of affirmative, aspect of thubutiyah. Okay, categorized in thubutiyah. Okay, and then salbiyah in the aspect of adamiyah, never, doesn't exist at all. Never. It doesn't exist. Let it be fi zihni. You can't even, doesn't exist at all. Something that you can't imagine. Zihni. And fil kharij, you can't even see at the apparent, doesn't exist. Okay. Yeah. So that aspect of adamiyah doesn't exist at all. That's salbiyah, 5 attributes. And then the 1 attribute is nafsiyah, is wujud. That's thubutiyah. Yeah. Okay. And then ma'ani is wujudiyah. Okay, which means sifat ma'ani. Okay. Okay. So if Allah unveil the reality of sifat ma'ani, you can see it. For us, okay, for us we can see, I can see your eyes, but I can't see the ma'ani. Yes or no?
You can't see.
I can't see the ma'ani, the function of the eyes. That function is called ma'ani. Okay? What we can see through the eyes. Yes? You have the eyes, you can see. Yeah? But it's connect to the eye. If you damage the eye, then you can't see it. Yes? So sifat ma'ani is that quality that is something that you can't really see it. It only exists in your mind, but not to the point you can see it.
Sheikh, is that like how obviously I can see people's eyes, but I can't see what they are seeing. I can't see the vision, because that vision that they have through their eyes. So I can affirm, okay, they can see from their eyes. That doesn't mean that I know the reality of what they're exactly seeing.
No, not that. Even that ability they can see, that function, you can't see it. You only know. You know, but you can't literally see. You can't literally see that ability, the function to see, like you see this table.
Okay, so are you saying, is it?
See through his actions that he can see it.
No, are you saying that you can't see sight?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
You can't. Okay, right.
Yeah. It's just like someone may have, eyes. You see some people have what they call it, blind. You can see the eyes is very nice, but you can't see blind. I know what they call it.
Cataracts.
Huh?
Maybe cataracts.
Not cataract. The eyes is perfect, but it's blind. So the eyes is perfect. If you see him, you don't believe that he's blind. When you say he's blind, there are people like that. So the function of that, they can't see it. So that's sifat ma'ani. Ma'ani is the function, the ability to see. Sifat ma'ani. Yeah. So, sifat ma'ani 7. Qudrah, iradah, ilmu, hayat, sama', basar, kalam. Yeah. Bismillah. And one thing that we have to keep in mind is that no matter what, that we try to understand, you can't understand how you understand anything because there's nothing to refer. You can try to make example, like I give you example, just to talk around it, but not like that anyhow. Just to have a grasp of understanding, a miniature. But once you have, like how I exist, or God exists too, but not how you exist, just to have a glimpse of understanding. Because you are studying something that there's no reference. That's why studying, knowing ma'rifatullah is not knowing the reality. To know, to affirm those quality, wujud, don't budge. Fight it, no, that's i'tiqad. You die with it, he exists. But not to know the reality of existence, to the point like how you know things. Okay, but it's good enough that when you say he exists, nothing like it. That's perfect. Whatever come, no, nothing like it. Yes? Makes sense to you?
Sure. Even
Yeah.
even though it's made clear that
Yeah.
you learn the attributes, you affirm them, but you don't even the reality of them. That's not for us to delve into.
Yeah.
But could you also say that even the reality of creation's attributes? I mean, it seems to me that we can only assume them. Like, so even we say, oh, we know that we exist. But if we really deep down think about that, what does it mean that I exist? What am I talking about? What part? Because we don't know when we don't exist. It's not like we even know any difference between existence and not existence. We just assume it, just like how you're talking about sight. So we assume that we're seeing because of our eyes. But then, that's the thing that's experiencing the sight, that's seeing. Just because of the education that we've got, the materialist education, we think, oh, light, eyes, brain, and that's how it works. But it's obviously more than that because of our belief that we are not physical. And true reality is not physical anyway. Otherwise, they would have worked out how to make robots to actually see. I mean, in artificial intelligence, it's something that.
Now, when you say, when you express like that, now you have to express true existence. See, you have to use the word true existence, which means, there is a level of existence then, which means superficial existence. So sometimes we dive into the side that already bypass that discussion already. When we discuss about it, it's just a glimpse to understand that zone you exist at that level, to have a grasp of understanding exist how you exist, God exists. Okay, that level. But when you start to, but anyhow, do we really exist now? You have to use another word. Well, do we really? Really exist. So which means exist but not really. Still exists, but not really. Like shadow exists, but not really exists, but exists. You get my point? So the idea to understand, yes, shadow exists. That level. So don't get confused. Now you go to dive to deep end. You own sentence, you get yourself confused now. But you can't see the shift from one sentence to another sentence. You shift, you lost it. Get my point there? So that's very important. Sometimes when we express ourselves using sentence, the shift between one layer to another layer, we construct another sentence. That shifting, we failure to recognize. And then we get confused. And then we mumble up together. No, really doesn't exist completely. Hold on. Yes? Of course, of course you exist, but what level of existence? Another level. You use another word, not level. But you can't deny it doesn't exist at all.
Yeah.
You get my point there?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I get that, Sheikh. But now I was talking about just like we can affirm we exist,
Yeah.
but what that means, we can't go in anything more than affirming that we exist.
Yes.
So I can't go any further than yes, I exist.
Yeah.
But how much further can I go into that?
Yeah.
There's a level that I can't even go beyond that.
Yeah.
So there's like a veil there even to my own,
Yeah.
what I am.
Yeah. So even that what you are now we're talking about, even that dimension is creation. So allow to know the reality of creator. That is why there's prohibition to contemplate on the essence of God, but contemplate on the attribute and his action. Because why? Because even your creation, you as a creation that God has created you, even that dimension, as you put it just now, you can't even go there. That's creation. What about creator? Oh my God. You know, that's why al-ajzu anil idrak fahuwa idrak. So the weakening or that al-ajaz, that the weak to know God is knowing of God. The inability to know God Almighty is knowing Him. So not to know Him like how you know things. Oh, I know God now. We have a problem here now. What do you mean you know God? Oh, God is like this. I have a dream last night. Lord have mercy. We have trouble here now. Yes? No. Yes? Al-ajizu anil idrak fahuwa idrak. The inability to know God is knowing God. Yeah? So that's why we can talk around it as to have a glimpse of how I own the house. Similarly, God own everything. Ownership. Okay. Oh, is it now? Okay, understand. Okay. But not like how exactly you own the house. It's just to have a glimpse. You get my point there? Yes? So using the metaphor, it's just to have, that's why God created creation as a metaphor to understand. Okay, you're coming into existence, not that you come into existence to affirm I exist. To the point you lost it.
Sheikh,
Yeah.
it seems to me that the 6-day Aqidah, the way it was formalized, it seems that because like that phrase when you say it exists but not like this and that.
Yeah.
When it's spoken like that, when saying this or that, you're pointing to things.
Yes.
And so there's a clear differentiation. And I think the reason why that had to be differentiated at the time of this was because the materialist philosophies had come in. Like they got introduced to Greek philosophies. And that started getting general. And then you had the Mu'tazilites, the Qadriya and so forth.
Yes.
So that's and because that became prevalent.
Yeah.
That's what muddied it, and it had to be clarified.
Yes.
But before, with Rasul Sallam,
there
wasn't so much of that. So, like metaphor, language. Metaphor and language, there was no confusion about what metaphor and meanings was. But once you start getting materialism in, this hard focus on hukum adat, science and empiricism. Now you've reversed it. It's not metaphors. You know, metaphors are now just used as like imprecise things, as things when you don't understand things. When before, metaphors, no, that's pointing to the reality of things. Not, does that make sense? So that way of even trying to understand things. So when we're trying to understand things, it's like we're trying to concretize something that's abstract too much. Whilst traditional, it's like, no, the abstract is the reality. Like you can go there and now you get it at the abstract level. But for us with our education, it's like we have this inherent switch in us. So I find it that it takes something abstract and you want to concretize it. But you know, and thinking that even that concrete understanding that you have of something isn't concrete in itself. There's an assumption there. It's a subtlety of materialistic thinking.
Mm.
That-
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is why what construct your mind is important. Okay. So your three reality, your three dimensional, your three domain, your thinking, feeling, acting. So what construct your thinking mind is the knowledge of Tawheed. Okay, the affirmation. What construct your feeling self, your emotional self, is the knowledge of Tasawwuf. What construct and build, mold, shape, cultivate, direct to your greater potential in your emotional, in your thinking, in your acting, is the three sciences governed together, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, working together. So the beauty about this 68 point, once you study it properly, you contemplate about it, the hal, the state, you become tasawwuf. And that state of tasawwuf, it transforms into amal fiqh. So you're not just studying tawheed as rule out tasawwuf and tasawwuf rule out fiqh. No. I'tiqad Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, it have three reality. Once you affirm this 68, it gives birth to a hal, state of tasawwuf, of ahsan. Because all those key points that you contemplate is mold, shape, cultivate, direct you towards tasawwuf already. And that tasawwuf, when you come to that point, okay, now it starts to bring about manifestation of fiqh, of fiqhi, manifestation of Islam. Okay, so it is always the three-dimensional of your development and progress being nurtured all the time. Because we are constantly engaging in life journey, we're constantly engaging these three aspects of your development and progress. Your thinking, your feeling, and acting. So you need the three platform of sciences to take you off in facing the challenges of this globe, or this dimension of life journey. Okay? So 68, the 1 point, which means the 6 point, the 1 point, the 5, and then you give birth with the 3. The 3, which is the self that look beyond itself, the self that have ability to give right definition in facing challenges of life, and the self that see the dunya, yearn for akhirah, and the self that see the makhluk creation, see more good than the bad. Okay? So there's 3 fruit. Because this 68 point, it is connected to that Hadithul Jibril. You know Hadithul Jibril, okay, is talking about 4 elements. The first question that Angel Gabriel asked the Prophet, tell me about Islam. That's 5 elements. Okay? And then tell me about Iman, the 6th element. Tell me about Ihsan, the 6th element. Tell me about Alamatus Sa'ah, the sign of last hour. That's 3. That's why we learn 6, 1, 5, 3. Okay? So what we are learning is really much connect with us Hadithul Jibril. Okay? Bismillah. And if you look at that Alamatus Sa'ah, tell me the sign of last hour, which is the 3. Okay, one of the sign of last hour, the earth going to fill up with people self-centered. That's number 1 of the 3. Second, the cells start to give definition opposite. Okay, wrong definition. Okay, definition which upside down. The social order upside down. Okay, all the meaning will be changed opposite. If it's not opposite blatantly, the definition will be disguised, manipulate. You become confused more. More you have knowledge, more you are far from reality. You cannot become what you know. More you know, more you disconstruct with what you know. Okay, you become like that. That narrative is like that. Okay? So that definition will change. That's second. Third, when you see the dunya, the worldly life, you fall in love, deep engrossed with the worldly life. You become materialist basically. And when you see creation, each other, human to human, you cannot trust them. Difficult to trust, difficult to open up. You see more bad than the good. Okay? So that's the 3. But if you establish the 6, the 1, the 5, the 3 to you is different. You begin to transform the self that look beyond itself. So there's no self-claim. Self-centered efface. The other one, it feed on the self-centered. Yes? And the second, you have the capacity, the ability to give right definition in facing challenges of life. In facing good, bad, sweet, bitter, difficult, easy, you come up with good solution. Balance, stability, justice, and right proportion. Not far extreme right, far extreme left. You have the capacity to bring out solution, to bring narrative in facing challenges of life at the level of balance, stability, justice, and right proportion. And not just that, the benefit that you look at, not look at the benefit as personal benefit, but it's global benefit. Most of the solution now is profit driven and for the certain group of people, not for everyone. And if they come up with solution, it's empty slogan, nice solution, but it's hollow. There is something catch there, they want to catch you. You see? This is different. You transform, you become someone that come up with solution that is solid, that is at the level of global. As much as that narrative have personal value, but it also have universal value. It work at all levels. Okay, the second. The third, when you see the dunya, you see the worldly life, your inside eyes open up. You see the akhirah. You have yearn, love for the next life. And when you see the creation, you have hope. You have love. You open up. Doesn't matter how he behaves. Doesn't matter what state that he is in. You bypass that. Because you have immense love. Because you're coming from beyond time space. You have a lot of energy to spend. You can take it. Because you're being that person. Okay? You renew energy all the time. Self-regulate, the best version of you, turn on. So you become solution to any circumstances. Okay? Is that clear? Yeah? Any question?
Oh, shit. You know when you contemplating 50 through the 18, can you don't have to go through every single attribute. You could have it as a whole, can't you?
Yes. So no, beginning, because to create a good structure of that holographic understanding, so obviously you go detail first to build, isn't it? So and then when your mind start to understand, okay, you have rough idea, okay, wujud, qidam, baqa. Okay, you understood now. Okay. Now, because one thing we have to remind, what we're learning here is something that we are learning constantly right now. It's just you're not aware of it. Now, how? Because when you talk about the 50, or when you talk about the 18, you are talking about 4 reality. That, sifat, asma, af'al. So your mind, our mind, been designed constantly engaging with this 4 reality. That, sifat, asma, af'al. Look at the table. The table is nothing but that, sifat, asma, af'al. Where's the that? The essence. something that exists, but not to the point you can see it, and we demonstrate just now. There's that. And then where's the sifat? The quality, the shape, the attribute, the color, the tone, okay, the structure, the texture. That's sifat. Whereby the sifat, the attribute, stand or stick with the essence. Essence and attribute cannot be separated. If this table separated from the essence, it becomes another thing now. Yes, that's sifat. Now, where's the af'al? Where's the action? What the function of the table? The function is related towards the action. Because shape, form demonstrate function. Function is af'al. What the table does? Oh, you can put things, okay. Okay, what is the name of what that thing? Table, that's asma. Is it for that? For or not? Yes? So, anytime you're thinking 60 to 70 thought, day in and day out, you're constantly engaged with Zat, Sifat, Asma, Af'al. But only two. The 50 Zat, Sifat, Asma, Af'al, that is Khaliq, beyond time space. 18 Zat, Sifat, Asma, Af'al, in time space. Creation. That's all. So now when you unlock that reality, after a while, you start to contemplate. When it opened up, you see like it lit up. This universe become like a book. It's so easy. When you unlock that reality, oh my God. When that open up, that's it. You see the meaning of Tawheed everywhere. Carelessness and heedlessness almost impossible. Being present is your state. You become like that. Yes? Does that help at all for you? Yeah? So, we are not learning something alien. We are learning what we are learning all the time. Who can be free from contemplation? Who's not thinking right now? Everyone is thinking. When you thought of thinking, can you free from Zat, Sifat, Af'al, Asma? Cannot. Only the question is Zat, Sifat, Asma, Af'al, Makhluk or Khaliq? Or you say it's Makhluk. Okay, can Makhluk be free from Khaliq? Oh, there you go, now you light up. Oh my God. You see, it's pointing there now. But the beauty about the 18 is that you're talking about creation, is creation, but khayra khalqillah, the best of creation, at the level of ma'soom, protected. Whatever he say, reflecting that reality. Whatever he do, whatever he articulate is synchronized. There is heart-mind coherent, that vertical and horizontal. Before he come horizontal with us, is vertical with the source. At the constant level, at the level of protected. Ma'soom. The wali, the teacher is not ma'soom, they are mahfuz. You see? So the teacher, when they connect with the teacher, they transform, they dive in the ocean of the teacher, they fall in love with Rasul. When they fall in love with Rasul, they fall in love with that Allah, that unified full of oneness and unity. That reality of 50 never come out from that blueprint. Not Mu'tazila, not Jabariyah, not Qadariyah. Because if you never have the 50, because it's a very fine line, you can fall off. You see how the teaching of prophethood, it preserves. Even inner dimension, it preserves you. Inner of the inner, it preserves you. You see? Get my point there? There is a sense of preservation. That's why you become balanced, you're not extreme. You cannot become extreme. It won't allow you. That i'tiqad cannot, because you see, this dimension, this circle of the first primary circle which connects to the 6 and the 1, this is uncompromised. You cannot compromise. You cannot change that. This i'tiqad Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the time of the Prophet, disciple until now never change. Not just that, from the time of Adam alayhi salam. You cannot change that. Uncompromised. Once you affirm that zone, once you discovered, once you acknowledge, once you found that uncompromised, you get it, that absolute reality. Now you can become compromised in the zone of 5. That's why zone of 5, you become flexible. It's not fixed all the time. You know what to say or what not. You're not extremist. People does not discover the 6 and the 1 reality. They just want to go to Islam, the 5. They become extremists. Because they doesn't have that, because everyone is looking for something that uncompromised. Everyone is looking for something absolute. One way or another. This is the place that you should direct yourself towards absolute. The one that right, the one that worthy of. If you give yourself there, you drown in that ocean, that's it. You balance. When you're dealing with creation, you have balance. Because you have already the absolute. In this zone of with and without. Sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you doesn't get what you want. In this zone, in this circle of senses, sensuality. In the circle beyond sensuality is absolute. Absolute reality. This is wajib al-wujud. Here, jaiz al-wujud. Possible exists, possible not to exist. That's why with and without. But if you already have the with, you can take with or without. You have already. But if it doesn't have that reality, and you're going to look here, the zone of you're looking for something complete with, in the place of with or without. Lord have mercy, disaster now. It's just like you lost you lost your watch here. You're going to look outside. And I come, what are you looking for? I lost my watch here. Yes? I keep looking with you too. Where you lost it? I lost it inside there. Right? What are you looking here for? I thought it's more bright here. Inside it's dark. Lord have mercy. Yes or no? So, everyone is looking and searching for the absolute reality. Yes? When you find that, that's a ma'rifah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created jinns and mankind except for لِيَعْرِفُونَ. Come to know. Knowledge of knowing that reality. This is what it is. The 6th, the 1, and then that channel. The 6 is knowing your lover. The 1 is being present with the lover. Once you know, once you recognize, you can't help it, you're going to constantly remember him. And then what's next? You want to channel it, isn't it? You want to talk, you want to, do some action now. So that's the 5. The 5, Islam is expression of love once you activate the 6 and the 1. But the phenomenon of the age, people doesn't have that activation, they're divorced from that reality, and they want to practice the 5. It's fine, but you're going to be tired. You cannot enjoy your prayer. You cannot stay long in your prayer. Okay? You get bored. You're more easy to stay outside. You're more comfortable here. See? To stay in the mosque long period of time, difficult. People say, come on, let's go to the mall. Not the mosque, in the mall. Your senses lit up. Because that material, neuropsychological perception has been installed at the level of wired, that is electromagnetic field, material value. When you go to the mosque, there's no value there. You see nothing. Oh my God, sleepy here now. Place of sleep now. Yes, but the people of spiritual, when they see the mosque, they're lit up. Oh. They see new mosque that never see. Oh, I want to go make sujud there now. There's current there. The spiritual value rise up. Yes, when you see the world, they see anything that connects with senses, because they are experiencing in that domain of discovery. It lit up there too. It reinforced all the time. Because sensory department is experiencing 1%, good or bad, 1%. That 6 and the 1, 99%. That's more powerful then. If you stay there longer. That's why once you master that 68, now the next step is meditation, which is your prayer. Yeah? So now when you cultivate that, your 7 limbs, your heart, your thinking, feeling, it connected with this greater reality in facing this lesser reality. It connect, it sync, it link, sync, and sink. You drown. When you drown, see? If you drown in the water, when you open your eyes, can you see anything other than water? You only see water then because you drown in water. But if you drown in reality of ahadiyah, wahdiyah, look at Bilal, Sayyidina Bilal, when they put a big rock on his chest. More heavier, ahad. Ahad. Because that reality of oneness and unity that Prophet has inculcated in them come out. More pressure you put, more it connect to that zone of reality. They drown there. That's a strength. Spiritual strength. But you can't experience that if you keep staying here. There's just someone that when you've been knocked down to the knee, okay, you cannot function anymore as normal. Your head, your leg hanging, your head bandaged. Yeah, you have to eat like that. No, you can't function as normal. Now you can think outside of normal. That time, if you go and see that person, he's very spiritual. Yeah? If you say Allah, it really mean Allah. Yes? But if you have all the baklava and coffee, tea, yes. That's difficult though. Yes? Because you have all the substitute feeding in. You see? That's why when you're in that restricted situation, that's to know how genuine you are. Can you see him? Can you see him? That's the time. That's why someone in a restricted situation, the best of you can become genuine. Yes? So, it's a lot of things. This is a place of discoveries, is a place of, experiential, that reality. If you transform, become that, mashallah, you connect. Yes? So day, night, day, that's in time, space, but another dimension opened up beyond time, space, that reality. And you see this life is friction, very quick. It's fragile. Anytime you're going to die. If you really see the reality of this life for what it is it value? Now, if you close it down, if any reason that comes to your mind, you only have 1 hour to live. What is this life? That's why you short the time, isn't it? Similarly, anyone you open this reality, this become light. Yes? It's not to say that people of reality doesn't experience pain. They experience pain, but different though. Because they drown there already. They are the living being. Okay? And those people exist. Those people that carry the tradition for real exist. You can't deny those people. But we see with our perception. We project upon them. We can't see their reality. Because with too much calculation, we can't see it. It is only when you surrender, when you start to really calm down and allow, now you start to see. Allah opened that inkishaf. Okay? Otherwise it's hijab. Most people are falling trapped into madhab ahlul hijab, not madhab ahlul kashaf. This path that we are opening, sharia, tariqah, haqiqah, you combine the three. Sharia, tariqah, and haqiqah. Sharia is your fiqh, is your Islam. Tariqah is your iman. Okay? Is your tawheed. Haqiqah is your ahsan, is your tasawwuf. When you combine the three, sharia, tariqah, haqiqah, that combination, you get ma'arifah. Okay? And to establish ma'arifah, you need to establish muraqabah, observing. Once you constant observe, now you establish mushahada. Once you establish mushahada, now you get ma'rifah. But in order to establish muraqabah and mushahada and ma'rifah, you need another one, because that muraqabah, mushahada, ma'rifah, this domain of ihsan, domain of haqiqah, domain of iman, tawheed. You need ikhlas, you need sidqun, and then you get tama'nina. Okay? And then you need another domain which connect to sharia, this tariqah, this haqiqah. Okay? That muraqabah, mushahadah, and ma'rifah, this zun haqiqah. Tariqah is the domain of ikhlas, sidq, and tama'nina. Sincerity, synchronicity, heart-mind coherent, and tama'nina, yusukun, tama'nina, tatma'in al-qulub. There is a sense tranquil. You combine the two formula, ikhlas and siddiq, truthfulness and honesty, and synchronicity, heart-mind coherent, these two formula, it bring about tama'nina. You get tranquility, tranquil. You combine the two formula, which is the muraqabah and mushahada, you get ma'rifah. You combine the taqwa and tawbah and taqwa, you get istiqamah. Now all that is included inside here already. Don't worry. Just work the first step. Contemplate the reality of 50 and 18. Okay? Obviously you're going to feel uncomfortable at the beginning. Already you feel heavy. Oh my God, 68 point. What is talking about? This is too much. Give me headache by looking at it now. Yes? Now who is talking there now? The best version of you or the worst one there? Okay, he's not going to encourage you. Because he knows if you start to contemplate on that, Lord have mercy, you have to go. Yes? You have to sign off. No chair for him to sit there anymore. Of course he doesn't want, when he look at that one glimpse, oh please, it's too much now. It's not for you. You take it easy. Take it simple, you know. This is for top people. You're not top, you're just low one. See? Good advice there, isn't it? Yeah? They're talking to you. I'm talking, they're talking too inside there. And by the time now when I finish, you don't know what you learn. Because I'm talking, you're talking too. Everybody's talking. Not really taking it in. Yes? So the first step, just contemplate on that reality. Okay? Once you get that, rehearse. Okay? And then you draw the conclusion, because you're just learning about that sifat, asma, and afa'al. That's all. Okay? That's why we explain the 4 steps, isn't it? First, to know this reality of 50. Second, to know the reality of 18. And the teacher is the one that have to dive in these 2 reality. The teacher is teaching you. So the teacher give you the concept. The teacher give you the element of usul, the element of principle, that murabatah, musharatah, muraqabah, muhasabah, muaqabah, mujahada. These are the 7 meme that you use to set your journey. Yeah? Set your journey. Now, from that abidun, alimun, muta'alimun, walin, muhtarifun, now you meet the people of muwahidun, mustaghrikun, fil wahidi samadi, an ghairihi. You meet the people of transmission, people that dive in, people that already experiential, people that has already become that reality. Okay? Now the student come, they in and out struggling. Okay, because they're still fighting to manage their thinking, their feeling, and their acting. So their old self and the new self, the old version and the new version, that who they want to be, and who they're being already, they're struggling, take a walk, in, out. So if they take it seriously, this principle, they apply that, they go back home and really take it serious, now you're going to see change. Because all of us are facing, in one way or another, challenges of life. Yes? Because this place, okay, our situation and circumstances is always a situation and circumstances which is connected to this contrast element, good, bad, sweet, bitter, difficult, easy. Those are the one respect, if you understand this reality, one respect of this impact of contrast, it is connected to the hand of nurturer, molding, shape, cultivate, directing you somewhere. But if you can't see that hand, you only see creation to creation, how can you direct yourself? You're blind. People of Iman, they have the eye of creed. Ainul Basirah, the inside vision, they have that. Build that. Don't become blind. If you're blind here, you're blind there. This knowledge, what you're learning from your teacher, is the most valuable thing that you can have in your life. Don't belittle it. You can't get. You can't get. Yeah, take it on, memorize them. Even doesn't matter one by one. Wujud, what try to understand. Do you understand? You ask. I'm here to explain to you. You ask. So what? If one day you ask one, you understand, memorize one word, only 68 words, what's the problem? Your life of 60 years, 70 years, 60 words is difficult? Oh, come on, you can memorize the song. Many songs you can memorize. This is your development, your progress. Yeah? So I see no reason that we become difficult or heavy to really take it over. Yeah, it should be light. MashaAllah. Any other question? Bismillah. Alright, so if there's no question, we can stop there. Yeah? غفر الله له ولوالديه ولجميع المسلمين بجاه سيد الأنبياء المرسلين وأولياء الله الصالحين آمين. نفعنا الله به وإياكم كما نفع بأصله أنه جواد كريم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله وأن يجعله خالصا لوجه الكريم وسببا الفاتحة. يعني بارك الله فيه، بارك الله فيه.